Welcome back everyone to another episode of Ironman Skyrim. Last time we left off, I had just solved the Blood on the Ice quest, which was the murders here in Windhelm, and I was also attacked by a dragon on this bridge, but I managed to take it down without too much trouble, thanks in no small part to the dozen or so guards posted on the bridge. Now, I'm still waiting to be contacted by the Dark Brotherhood, so I decide I'll just head out of town and grab the white phial or something. And I'm attacked by this mercenary who is murdered. Goodbye, evidence. No sooner am I out of town, though, than I actually get flagged down by the courier here, and he finally hands over the note for the Dark Brotherhood. Now, this note essentially just begins the Dark Brotherhood questline, and now, when I go to sleep, they will contact me. One of the nicest parts about this is it actually drops me off right around the Horn of Jürgen Windcaller, right up near Ustengrav. So I use it as a sort of little fast travel cheat. After a mere hour of rest, I wake up heavily drugged in an abandoned shack way up north near Solitude.
Sleep well.
No, I did not sleep well, Astrid. Thanks for nothing. Anyway, Astrid here is claiming that Grella the Kind was, by all rights and purposes, a Dark Brotherhood contract, and I stole it right out from under their feet, and it's kind of hard to argue with her logic, really. To make it up to them, she wants me to kill the correct contract in this room, and I have three options here. The first is Fultheim the Fearless, who's been renting out his sword arm for years as a mercenary. Alea here is just a hag, and then we have the Khajiit, whose name I always forget, and he essentially convinces me that he's a mob boss, I guess? I'm not entirely sure what he's done. So after a moment I decide, you know, the choice is pretty obvious. Had to be one of them. Yep, thinking is hard, ladies and gentlemen. And that's creepy, yep. So, with that taken care of, I come back and talk to Astrid, and she essentially commends me on my choice. Good work. Way to kill everyone at the same time. She extends me an invitation into the Dark Brotherhood, and I accept, I guess. It's late enough in the afternoon, evening, morning, whatever, that I, rest before heading over to Ustengrav, just because it is dark. Obviously, at 2 in the morning. Anyway, Ustengrav is pretty much exactly the same as it was the last time. It is a pretty tricky Nordic ruin as far as they go, but after you take care of all of these initial enemies, it's actually pretty straightforward. And as you can see, Shock Orb rather doesn't exactly work the way I would like it to, but what do you do, right? So, Draugr being undead are especially susceptible to fire. And watching this clip again, I actually realized I never went down and got the Word of Power in here, so yeah, that's kind of embarrassing. And like I said, this is just a little sort of alcove you can get to with Whirlwind Sprint. I missed it in my first couple of playthroughs. So, I don't know why that didn't hurt me. That was pretty pathetic. Yeah, the Horn of Jürgen Windcaller has been stolen by Delphine over in Riverwood, but I don't care because I am heading up to Solitude at the moment. I just passed through Morthal, and I figure on the way there I might as well stop by, what is it, Dead Man's Respite, I believe? And I'm not sure why that sounds so familiar until I get here and I realize that this is the place where King Olaf's verse is contained, which is pretty useful anyway, because I was going to turn that mission in Solitude when I got there. So I pretty much just walk through this dungeon. My sneak is high enough and my destruction skill is high enough that I can just really walk through with pretty much no problem. It's really pretty straightforward. Fire! So at some point here I got the special ability that allows me to cast spells completely silently, which makes me just unbelievably stealthy for all intents and purposes. Of course, it comes in completely useless if I have no magic, which is what happens here in this antechamber. There are just too many enemies, and I sort of burn through all of my spells right at the beginning. There's more than I initially remembered, to be completely honest. And as you can see about, right now, I just sort of start wandering around and picking up gold and stuff, because why not? Eventually, though, my bard friend there does manage to take down the Draugr White, and then I can manage to get King Olaf One Eye in a soul trap, and boom. Yeah, that's really nice. That worked out pretty well for me, yep. So with that taken care of, I head up the road back to Solitude, Probably the biggest thing of note is Fort Snowhawk, but I do survive it. If you want to see that footage, I left it unedited pretty much at the end of the video. So yeah, I just walk up through Dragon's Bridge all the way up to Solitude, and I believe that is where I will be leaving this episode off. So, thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll have another one up soon.
Of the arcane.
Someone there?
No!
I'll see.
Bruce?